Problems with the police have come to the nation's capital. On Tuesday night, the body of a D.C. police officer was pulled from the frigid waters around Haynes Point Park in southwest D.C. He was identified as 32-year-old Officer Mark Washington. Now, Washington was on house arrest at the time, wearing a GPS tracker on his ankle after he was arrested last week on child porn charges. Washington was accused of ordering a teenage girl to remove her clothing so that he could take pictures of possible bruising to be used as evidence. A search of Washington's camera found that he had hundreds of similar photos of young women dating all the way back to 2011. Now, in an unrelated incident, another D.C. officer, 47-year-old Linwood Barnhill, was arrested today and linked to a child prostitution ring after authorities found a missing 16-year-old girl in his apartment. D.C. police are now looking into the possibility of more victims. Now, these stories of abuse and misconduct among D.C. police officers come just as the department is dealing with criticism over how it handles sexual assault cases. That was a topic of a report released this year by Human Rights Watch. Now, to discuss more about this issue, I'm joined by Sarah Dershary, Senior Counsel of the U.S. Program of Human Rights Watch and the author of this report, Capital Offense: Police Mishandling of Sexual Assault Cases in the District of Columbia. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the show. So, to be clear, your report focused on D.C. police mishandling sexual assault cases, not on D.C. police actively being a part of sexual assault cases. But given what you've learned about the police force on this issue, do these arrests that I talked about in the intro of sexual misconduct and the like surprise you?
They don't entirely surprise me, because what we found was that scores of cases were not being investigated and that victims were often being treated really poorly when they reported, which indicated not that the policies in D.C. were bad, but that the police department actually didn't have a culture that took sexual assault seriously.
Now, as part of this report, you spoke with sexual assault survivors. How did they describe some of the treatment they received by police?
Sadly, a number of sexual assault survivors told us that they found their experiences with police actually worse and more traumatizing than the assault itself. They were sometimes blamed for their assaults, they weren't believed, they were discouraged from reporting, they faced eye-rolling, lectures, sort of a whole gamut of inappropriate victim-blaming behavior that you wouldn't expect from detectives who should be trained in handling traumatized victims sensitively. Not all detectives did this, but it was widespread enough that it was a problem that we felt it was important to bring to light.
I think you might have touched on this topic in the first question, but how much of this is a result of institutional problems and within the D.C. police force, and how much of it can just be attributed to bad apples or bad actors that might exist in any police force?
I think the problem is that there are undoubtedly bad apples and bad actors in anywhere you go. But if they're not held to account for misbehavior, then it becomes an institutional problem. And in D.C., this problem was exposed in 2008, where it was discovered as part of a lawsuit that half the time people were complaining about sexual assault cases, police wouldn't even bother writing it down. Supposedly, the police changed their practices, but my research took place 3 years afterwards, and I found that still a lot of cases were being classified as office information cases, or they weren't even being considered rapes and investigated at all. They were just closed at the time the victim reported.
Given what you've learned about the D.C. police force on this issue, is it reasonable to assume other police forces around the country have similar problems dealing with sexual assault cases? Have you looked into other police forces on this issue?
We had done some work previously on rape kit backlogs, and so we'd found in Illinois and Los Angeles that there were thousands of kits that had been kept in storage. We didn't look at police investigations, but usually if you find a lot of kits in the back room, it can mean that there is a larger problem and that police have an attitude towards sexual assault cases in which they decide not to investigate. For whatever reason, they decide it's not a good case and they don't take the case any further.
I understand there's a D.C. City Council hearing tomorrow, and recommendations from this report will be discussed. What are some of those recommendations? What are you hoping to see comes out of this hearing?
So the two key things we really want to see is external oversight of the police department. We want an expert to assess police department policies and practices and make sure reforms are actually implemented and restore public confidence in the police department that they are taking these cases seriously and treating victims properly and with respect. And the second thing we want is transparency and the right of victims to have an advocate present during police interviews. I think that will provide support to victims while they're going through a difficult process and ultimately help law enforcement by keeping victims in the system. And I think it may discourage some of the more troubling behavior we saw.
We have just about a half minute left. What are some of the consequences of this? I mean, already sexual assault is one of the more underrated crime or underreported crimes in the country.
Well, I mean, this is exactly the problem. One of the fears that people have about reporting is that they won't be taken seriously and that they won't be believed when they report. And so that's why it's absolutely crucial to make sure that best practices are in place and that victims do get the support that they need when they report. Not every case is going to be prosecuted, but they do all need to be investigated, and victims need to be treated with dignity and respect when they report. It really goes a long way to helping in their recovery.
Sarah Dershary, Senior Counsel of the U.S. Program of Human Rights Watch, thank you so much.